Alright, you lot. Let me ask you something. When exactly did Call of Duty stop being a collection of mods and start being a fucking hostage situation? Because I've been neck deep in this franchise since kill streaks were just 3 numbers and a bit of static on a CRT. And what we've got now? It's not evolution, it's infection. Skill-based matchmaking, that were patient zero. Turned every lobby into fucking torture chamber. But Warzone, that were vector. Delivery system. And now it's just ruining mainline games. It's reanimating the corpses and parading them around with a fucking store tab nailed to the skulls. It's time to ask what happens when every mod in your franchise gets rebuilt to serve a free-to-play parasite. Let's start with Zombies mod. It used to be sacred, round-based chaos, wall guns, mystery boxes, and sweet panic at last second clutch with 1 bullet and a prayer. But now, it's not dead, it's tainted. Black Ops 6 was supposedly going back to its roots, round-based maps, fan service, nostalgia nudge. But look a little closer, and you'll see it. Infection's already spread. Armor plates? Check. Loot rarity tiers? Check. Crafting benches? Extraction light objectives? Operator loadouts? All ported straight from Warzone's playbook. You're not surviving anymore, you're optimising. Scavenging gear, slotting perks, managing upgrades like it's a fucking RPG light system designed to keep your dopamine spiked and your grind constant. And here's the worst part, it's not cause players ask for this. It's cause Activision needs every mod to feed Warzone economy. Zombies? Don't matter if it plays well, it matters if it connects. To battle passes, to unlocks, to store bundles. It has to be familiar to Warzone players, or it gets rebuilt to fit. Community's already clocked it. People who bled this mod since Nacda and Taunton are now watching it get turned into a loot sandbox with rotten face. It's still round based, but Soul's being rewritten, and message is clear. Not safe, not even undead. Then there's multiplayer, which used to be core, fucking main event. Boots on ground brutality where every second counted and every frag were a flex. Now it's bloody testing ground for Warzone's next season. Weapons no longer tuned for tight 6v6 gunfights. The balance for mid-range spray control in a BR gulag from hell. TTK is Warzone tuned. ADS speeds? Sluggish by design. Every recoil pattern feels like it will pass through a fucking spreadsheet before launch. And don't get me started on maps. Gone at golden 3-lane beauties that rewarded flow and aggression. Now we get AI-generated layouts with all solar a fucking spreadsheet, recycled textures, reused props, maps that technically function, but feel like they were designed by someone who's never played a shooter in their fucking life. They're not building these maps for fun, they're building them to collect metrics, engagement heat maps, zone control data, kill funnels. Multiplayers become lab rat for Warzone's next new POI. And even when the throwers are bone, like Terminal or Raid, it's just a copy-paste to cash grab to keep you from noticing how neglected mode is. But final insult? Every system in MP now serves Warzone. Battle Pass progression is shared. Loadouts are Warzone-ified. UI looks like fucking Netflix menu had a stroke. And don't even try to prestige properly. XP flow is rigged to keep you grinding through seasonal fucking FOMO. Skill-based matchmaking? That what first boot in face. But Warzone? Warzone is boot, stomp, curb, and fucking pavement. Multiplayer didn't just fall off, it were converted, disarmed, neutered. Now it's just a glorified tutorial for a free-to-play economy built to sell you purple tracer rounds. But what about campaigns? They used to be beating fucking out of Call of Duty. Whether it was storming Normandy, nukes in Middle East, or dragging your bleeding mate through jungles and Nam, you felt it. Nah, campaigns are just marketing trailers with button prompts. Average COD campaign these days clocks in shorter than a fucking pizza delivery window. 5 hours, maybe 6, if you stand around admiring textures they stole from Warzone. They're not building stories anymore, they're building setups, set pieces, moments, teasers for upcoming bundles. Hey look, that operator you rescued in 3rd mission is in Battle Pass next season. And next level design? Jesus Christ. Gone at tight scripted corridors of chaos. Now it's open-ended Warzone-like spaces littered with loot crates, optional objectives and crafting mechanics. Yeah, crafting, in COD campaign. Because God forbid we just have a fucking gun and a plan anymore. These missions aren't structured for narrative, they're dry runs for Warzone mechanics, training grounds for armor plate application, equipment combos, squad pings, and whatever extraction like wank they're plugging this quarter. You're not playing through a story, you're onboarding to next monetisation loop. And let's be honest, this isn't laziness, it's fucking strategy. Every campaign now exists to do 3 things. Showcase tech built for Warzone, introduce characters for store bundles, get you to finish fast so you can jump online and start spending. And when campaign's done, there's no legacy, no memorable villain, no iconic missions, just a vague censor. Wait, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Cause campaigns aren't beginning anymore, they're fucking tutorial. You wanna know how they got away with all this? How they managed to drag zombies, multiplayer and campaigns down the same sewer pipe without anyone pulling fucking fire alarm? IW9. This isn't just an engine, it's a weaponised infrastructure. A system built from ground up to unify every Call of Duty title so that Warzone can be everywhere and in everything. In theory, brilliant. One engine, one pipeline, one centralised dev ecosystem, faster development, shared tools, easier updates. That's what they sold us. But in practice, it's Syringe they use to inject Warzone mechanics into every fucking mode in franchise. Want a classic Zombies experience? Too bad. Warzone needs armor plates and loot scaling. Want tight multiplayer maps with arcade pacing? Get fucked. Warzone needs space for verticality and sight lines for sniper glints. Want a cinematic campaign? Nah, Warzone needs a sandbox tutorial. And best part? By unifying engine, they've also unified storefront. Cross-title cosmetics, universal unlocks, shared battle passes. What you buy in one game has to work in every mode, which means every mode has to be built around fucking monetisation framework. They're not designing experiences anymore, they're designing compatibility. IW9 didn't just streamline development, it flattened creativity. Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, they don't feel different anymore. They feel like departments at same fucking live service warehouse, shipping out slightly tweaked variations of Warzone's core mechanics. This isn't innovation, it's engineered homogenisation. And now, every game feels the same, every gun handles the same, every system loops into the same fucking grind. IW9 is reason no part of Call of Duty is safe, because once foundation were built around Warzone, every wall, every window, every door were just waiting to be breached. You can always tell when writing's on wall, not from players, but from creators. People who built their careers on franchise, ones who used to defend it, excuse it, sugarcoat it for sponsors and early access. Yeah, even they're done pretending. Let's start with Zombies. Guys like Mr. Waffle Waffle, who lived and breathed this mode, every Easter egg and lore drop, is now openly disappointed with what Black Ops 6 is shaping up to be. Not cause it's new, but cause it's empty, stripped of soul and weighed down by Warzone mechanics like a fucking anchor around its neck. Then you got multiplayer crowd, drifters burnt out, Prestige's key looks like he's filming hostage tapes. An exclusive ace, still clinical, still sharp, but you can hear it in his voice. That quiet, exhausted tone of a man analysing 5th recycled system in 3 years and trying not to lose will to live. Even Warzone streamers are losing the grip. Symphony, Joe War, Zelena. They'll pop off in lobbies, sure, but passion? Gone. Excitement? Gone. They're entertainers now, not believers. And half of them are using VPNs or custom lobbies just to get fucking usable footage. Cause Warzone don't feel fun anymore. It feels mandatory. And that's point. When every system, every unlock, every fucking weapon blueprint feeds into a single ecosystem, then it don't matter what mode you enjoy. You're playing Warzone, whether you're in it or not. And creators, they know it. They've tried to warn people, they've made videos, but at this point, even ones who stayed loyal are looking for exit. Cause there's only so many times you can say, this year might be different, before it starts to sound like a fucking Coke can. Call of Duty is no longer a franchise, it's a service. Not in live sense, in indentured servitude sense. And worst part, you don't even notice it happening, cause infection was slow, calculated, profitable. So next time you load up COD and wonder why it feels hollow, why not it's like it used to, just remember, you're not playing a game you loved, you're beta testing store experience for next season. Join Discord, follow on X, consider a channel membership if you're into that sort of thing. Smash like it, subscribe, drop me your comments or questions below. I may feature them in a future video, if they're not complete bollocks. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.